guys, it's Lynn here. Hope you're having an amazing day. Now guys, in this video I'm going to be potting on some of my Tephrocacti and my Cylindropuntia Cacti, which are these here. And they're related to obviously the Opuntia family, but they're different to the more commonly seen Opuntias, like these with the flat pads. And some of these up here. These are ones that are usually more rounded with the stems and sort of a little bit more wacky looking. And there's sometimes it comes under the Cylindropuntia and sometimes Tephrocacti and the Tephrocacti, Cylindropuntia and Cylindropuntia. They are sort of a bit of a wacky type of Opuntia variety. And as you can see, I've already got the pots next size up for them, and I've already made the cactus and succulent compost mix, which me and Hans prefer to make our own, which links up above to a video on how to make your own cactus and succulent plant compost, and it goes into detail what we use there. But really it's personal choice when it comes to the soil. Some people like to use just a basic household compost and just use added perlite and added grit, and some people have great success with that. So it doesn't have to be complicated or really too scientific with the soil, as long as you use a well draining soil mix that's essential for cacti and succulents. And I've already made a video on how to repot a cactus, so links up above to that video, and that goes into detail about how to repot a cactus. These are going to be very easy to do, but obviously I used two examples in that video of two very different types of cacti shapes. That goes into detail on how to repot your cactus. So this isn't a how to repot a cactus video. This is purely a bit of a video vlog of me potting on these plants into the next sizes up. As you can see, I've already got the next pots ready. I'm going to be putting the soil in and potting them on, and all the labels ready. I'll just talk to you a little bit about Tephrocacti or Cylindropuntia Cacti, and some of the ones that are different to the more commonly seen, as in this case the Opuntia here. There's a few more of the Cylindropuntias here, and these ones here, Opuntia Mayhueniopsis species. Again, different varieties of the more commonly seen Opuntia. This is a Tephrocactus articulatus here, the big long papery spine. So they really are wacky. And this beautiful plant here, this is a Tephrocactus of Hans, is absolutely beautiful, isn't it, guys? So that's just a little bit about them. And what I'm going to be doing, I was going to be repotting the video outside, but it started to rain, guys. So I'm going to be potting on up here. So stay tuned, and I'm going to bring the soil in. I'm going to start repotting. Now guys, I've got all the plants together here, and obviously what I'm going to be doing, obviously the next size up with the pots, as I say. Now luckily I'm able to do this outdoors because it's sort of stopped raining. It's a little bit spitting, but obviously I'm not going to show you the whole procedure because it's going to go on too long. I'm just going to show you the first couple of plants I'm going to be doing here. As I say, making up all their own compost mix, as in here, if you can see. Not quite sure, just lift the camera up a fraction here to so you can see. Mixture of Johnnins number 2, extra perlite and a little bit of extra horticultural sand just for added drainage there. And as I say, I've got links up above to how we make our own cactus and succulent soil. As we normally use grit, we've substituted with perlite this time. Just rearrange this so you can get to see what I'm doing there, guys. And let's get going, shall we then? Now, obviously, first of all, we finish some of the pots with the soil, like there at the bottom. For this first couple here, and I'll be potting them on. Now I've already sort of loosened the pots. These are easy when it comes to, these are old. These are pots I already had when I bought these plants at a show in Belfast. I see a new little growth growing on there, and I've already loosened the pot, so gently just turn it on its side. No need to worry about gloves with these plants because they're so so easy to do. They're not that sharp. And gently potting it in like so. And then that's that one. And then I'm going to use the soil from this pot in here just to go around the edges. And as it comes to repotting, I always make sure that the soil is all around the edges, and then gently tucking it in. You don't have to squash in too hard, just enough so the plant doesn't fall out of its pot. Obviously make sure that you go all around the edges so there's no air pockets. Gently tucking it in, and then a little bit more on the top. And obviously you want the the roots to breathe. And this is a tip I actually learnt from my wonderful fiance Hans. I had used to really tuck them in very tight all around the edges, but he said, you know, as long as they're gently tucked in, so there's no soil going, obviously there's no air pockets, and it's all tucked in, but just gently press down and then sort of tap to make sure it goes all around the edges in there. As I said, this isn't a repotting video. I've already done that one. This is just showing you me repotting. Just showing a few little tips here on there. And there you go. That's the first one done. And obviously the label on there. And as I say, I'm not quite sure what this is. I think it's a Tephrocactus. The guy who sold it, he thinks it is. Pretty sure by looking at it. But again, if anyone can ID this and give me the exact name, please do let me know, guys. So that's the first little fella done. And then the next one is again. Bit of soil at the bottom. And this one, no, is definitely a Puntia cantare or Tephrocactus cantare. Apparently, according to the guy who sold it me again, correct me if I'm wrong, guys. And there's some good grit there. Can we use that also? Again, gently with the soil just enough to cover the bottom. And gently press it in. The less damage you can do to the roots, I always think, the better, guys. You know, some people say that you should really sort of like comb out all the roots. Now, I think as long as the roots look healthy and there's no signs of bugs and pests, then I think you're better off not doing too much moving and manoeuvring with the roots. Just gently place it into the pot with a couple of inches of the fresh soil in, all around the edges. As I say, gently pressing down that soil, very gently, all around the edges. So there's no air pocket, so you can touch this. There's a bit of an air pocket there. You want to make sure that the soil is all the way down, and again just gently tapping it, going around like so, so the soil falls down into the sides like that without pressing too hard. So you want the roots to breathe again, and then that's, as you can see, that's in there, gently pressing down like so, and then a bit more soil to go around the top. As you say, it's that's good on there. So when we use a bit of extra perlite, we usually prefer to use a bit of grit, but it's not always easy to get hold of grit. So in this case, we've had to use extra perlite, but we're using added sand as well in it, and a loam-based soil with just a small amount of peat. It's hard to avoid peat altogether. It seems to be in all, even the soil, even the loam-based soils now, as you can see. If you wonder what that black is, guys, that's actually earlier this year when I watered it for the first time. It cracked open and it's formed a bit of a black scab, but the plant's doing well. It's regrowing again there, and that's that. So then that one, a Puntia cantare. So that's the second one, guys. And as I say, if this video is a bit too long and boring for you, just fast forward it and see the finished result at the end. The only reason why I've decided to run it through all the way is that when I've showed the finished result, people said, I actually want to see you potting them up. So sorry if it is long, just fast forward to the end, guys. Now, again, putting it out of there. And what I'm going to be doing, obviously, we repotting, now this one's a bit more spiny, as again, I should have probably used some type of cardboard or bag just to protect myself, but it's not overly spiny. And again, when I repot my plants, I keep them usually dry for a good few days afterwards, because it can, as I say, I like to do as least damage to the root system as possible when it comes to repotting. I'm not somebody who really is rough with the plants, but I always think it's best just to keep them dry after you've repotted them for at least a week or two, until they've settled into the pots. If they have damaged any roots, at least they can settle into their new pots and reform any damaged roots. But there you go, tucking it in again, gently tucking it in, and then just tapping it around the sides, so any the soil goes right down into the base like that. And then it's important, obviously, to leave air so the plant does breathe. The roots need to breathe as well. And there you go. That's it. Tephrocactus weberii. And that's that one done. Like so. Easy peasy. And then the next one is this little one here. This one is a desperately repotted Tephrocactus articulatus. Again, that's a very small pot. Roots coming right through there. So that is desperate. Next size pot up, as in this case, this one here. Again, literally, this is so easy to repot. Literally just touching it by the spines. I'm going to worry about even touching it. And it's not a sharp one at all, as you can see. And then, again, soil all around the sides. So easy to repot, guys, with these ones. As I say, I've already made a video on how to repot a cactus where I show 2 examples of 2 very difficult to repot cacti. And also, guys, I've already made a video, or me and Hans, I should say, have made a video together on how to repot a Opuntia, which is part of this genus, but the Opuntia is a lot more difficult to repot because of the sharp spines and the glow kids. And links up above to that video on how to repot an Opuntia cactus, because that actually shares a few tips. My wonderful fiance Hans shares some amazing tips on there about how to repot an Opuntia, and also how to prune it as well, because they grow very unruly and they do need to have a bit of pruning every now and then, and keeps them tidy. And of course, when you prune a pad, which are these pads here, it means you get extra plants to propagate. Now again, just putting it around the sides like so, and as I say, gently tucking it in and then just tapping it so they have no air pockets around, so it all falls down like that. There you go. And then again, Tephrocactus articulatus, the label on there. And then last but not least, so guys, if you watched it this far, well done on you. And I say the only reason why I'm having this video running all the way through is because people, the last time I've done a couple of videos and I showed the finished results, said, oh please, I love watching you repotting them all. So now this one here, I've never repotted this one since I've had it either. There you go, Cylindropuntia. Again, very easy to pot on. Just squeeze the pot like so. It's always good to check the root system out, to check there's no bugs or anything like that as well at the same time. And again, a soil of a couple of inches of soil there, and tap it in. Now again, that's a little bit too high, so you know to empty a little bit more out. And, like so. And then tipping around the soil around the edges. There you go. So I always like to use the perlite or the grit added. And remember, when it comes to the compost mix, as I said earlier, it's entirely up to you what you some people used to use normal household compost with added perlite or grit or sand for drainage. But I personally, me and Hans prefer to use a loam-based soil, as in this case a John Innes, purely because we're not fan. Peat, I find, tends to harbour lots of them annoying fungus gnats that tend to eat away at the roots. And since we've been using loam-based soils, we don't seem to have a problem with them, which is great. But again, it's really up to you. The most important thing is it's use a well-drained soil. As you say, gently tucked in the sides. And there you go. Make sure it's all levelled off. Again, tapping it in to make sure the soil is all down them sides, so there's no air pockets as such. And that's the last one, and that's that one there. So there you go, guys. Just show them all potted up. As I say, they're quite wacky plants compared to a lot of the normal Opuntias. And obviously I'm not going to be keeping these dry now for the next week or two, and then I'll start introducing a bit of water to them after about a week, just to make sure that the roots are settled down. So guys, thanks so much for watching. I want to send you loads of love, heaps of happiness, and tons of cactus power. As always, from Ireland. And until the next video, guys, bye.